Hello everyone, welcome to my channel again. This is author Yasir Suleiman for you. I try to make some difference. I try to bring about some change in the channel every time. I often speak to different authors, entrepreneurs, professionals, artists of any kind. I try to speak to them, and I do add certain other programs to my channel as well. So today we have with us a very interesting. I'm not sure where he's from the US, I guess. Pardon me, I forgot to ask that. But we have a very interesting writer and author who writes series, and one day his aim is to make this series into a Hollywood movie. So everyone, welcome Bryan Asbury. Hey Brian.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you, Yasmin.
Right. Yeah, right. You're most welcome. See, I didn't want to leave out reveal all the details. So I just gave a brief explanation about it. Why not you talk about yourself? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm a horror author. I live in Colorado.
Colorado.
And I had
No,
started writing these little bizarre little short stories about 10 years ago, and I had them sitting around, and I would just share them with friends and family. It was just more of entertainment. I didn't really see them going anywhere. And I had shared one with a coworker of mine. It was the first one I ever actually finished. It was called The Chair in the Closet, and he really liked it. And he said, "Hey, I listen to these horror podcasts. You should try submitting it and just seeing what happens." So I did, and I didn't hear anything for quite a while. Probably 2 months went by, and I kind of just thought, "Oh well, it was fun." And then I got an acceptance letter, and the
oh,
network is called the Chilling Tales for Dark Nights. And
okay.
the first show I was on that they produced is called Otis Gyri's. Uh, Otis Gyri was the host. I think I forget what it's called now. And it was cool. They made it, and it was really cool. And from there, so I submitted another one that I had finished. It was called White Coat Syndrome. And when I submitted that one, man, I got a response within about maybe 2 weeks, a lot faster. And this time it was from a
Oh,
producer down there, not just like a generic copy and paste. It was from him personally, and he said, "Hey, if you want to work together, just here's my all my information." And from there, I kind of work with that network, and I've had 6 stories so far they've made. Actually, Son of a Bitch is coming out tomorrow, and
okay.
that I'm really excited for
Cool.
that one because that's really wild. So that's how I started out with this.
Wow. So interesting here. See, this is what even I have attended for. It doesn't come that successful. Perhaps in the future, I myself am an author, but I may try hard sometime later. But this is what intrigues me. Like, what do you do other than being a writer? Do you have any other profession? Do you have any other means of living? What do you do?
Oh yes, yeah. I work for the state of Colorado. I'm a state worker, so
Wow.
I just it's hard to for me. I have to. It's kind of like author by night. I wish I had the time to dedicate all day to writing. I kind of have to just do it when I can get it in. But the advantage, I guess, in a way, the advantage to working in with the state is I run across so many people that's my for me it's my inspiration. Everyone, one of the most difficult questions for a lot of authors to answer is, where do you get your inspiration from? And for me, it's just really easy. It's just like the characters in our everyday life. I just uh, i guess I have a way of just picking up on people's mannerisms, and just devising little weird stories. That, and my wife Amber actually has a really good imagination too. A lot of times we'll
Oh.
just bounce stories off. We'll just bounce ideas off each other. We'll start laughing. Oh, let's do this. Let's do, and then the story starts coming together. So I'm lucky to have her to help me a lot.
Definitely, Lucky, definitely. So this is why I asked about your background. I just want to know what do you
Hmm.
do? Because just like everyone else, where do you get inspiration from? Where do you get the stories from? You explained, of course. But
Hmm.
say, imagine, perhaps I come to Colorado and we meet down the street. Would you make me a vampire? Oh, I do not know, a monster or something like that? How do you do that?
There's the chance. There's the chance, man. I don't know. I don't even know. I've just been lucky to have this interesting cast of characters placed in my life, and I don't know if it's like if it's destiny, fate that I'm supposed to do this or what. But I've had all these interesting characters, and it's just like a lot of them. You're just like this has to be written about this person, and I think it's just an overactive imagination too. I was an only child, so growing up I was raised on a steady diet of like movies like Cape Fear, Falling
Ah,
Down. I was a child of the
right.
90s, so it's like
Ah,
anything. It's like if you
the
have
same as like that.
yeah, that stuff, it's like if you put a loaf of bread next to a banana, after a while
Ah,
the bread starts to take on the taste of the banana. Things rub off on people and stuff, and that just rubbed off on me. And I think that's why a lot of my stories now are there's so much like I would almost call them more of suspense than true horror. There's gore
okay,
and stuff in my stories, but it's more of psychological suspense, I would call it almost.
fine, fine. Yeah, this is what I was coming to. See, I gave a just about what I do as writing. So I started off with romance, then I went into
Hmm.
poetry, then I went into like some short stories, then I went into
Hmm.
horror. I have written one book on horror called Silence, and then I went into thrillers, action thrillers. Now I may be writing about fantasy. So my tastes keep changing. So
That's cool. You're
what
very
makes you
eclectic, it sounds like.
right, right. Say I'm an Indian, and our movies are like this. What we call in our own lingo as masala, a kind of combination of different things.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if you make some curry or some I don't know
Mhm.
spaghetti and add vegetables also, add some fish also, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
that's
one
the
of
way
my
I
favorite
am.
dishes, chicken tikka masala, right there. One of my favorite dishes. I
Ah,
can
this
totally
is this
relate. Yeah.
this is what I was coming to. Okay, so
Hmm.
you are sticking to horror, and you said it's not mostly horror, and it has some suspense also.
Hmm.
Give us a little more insights, like what kind of story is it? What we see, the age-old vampire diaries, for example, Frankenstein, all such sorts, an old mansion haunted and all that, those sorts. What's his name? Stephen King, and one more famous author I also read in childhood. Not getting the name. Lots of horror in this. Is it those sorts or something to do more with our current lives?
Um, I don't know. It's such a unique. It's just different. All my stories are a little different. The premise, a lot of the theme of them is psychological suspense, creating an evil character. That eventually displays who they are towards the end of the story. But then there's some that have almost like a dark, um, I guess you'd say, comical underbelly to them, dark comedy almost.
I
Um,
do.
I have one called the chair in the closet, and that was
Okay.
the first one I finished, believe it or not, and it's about a haunted office chair. Or is it? The reader's never sure if
Wow.
it's haunted or if it's just the guy's just going crazy through the story, you know. And yeah, the chair kind of like targets him, and it's just bizarre. It's a lot of bizarre stories like that. That's just one example.
I will be scared next time I sit on a chair in the office. I will be scared. I get that. I get that. So
Yeah.
you were telling of your this kind of stories, how do what's the length of it? Is it kind of a story or a novel or what kind? What length is it?
Most of them are short stories. The bulk of them are between 6 and 8,000 words. Now, I just finished Son of a Bitch, which is actually almost 11. It's about 11,000 words. That's my
Okay.
longest one yet. I guess you consider that a
Okay.
novella, maybe, or something like
A
that.
novel. So,
And
yeah. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, that's
Fine.
been my
Fine.
longest. But I like the short stories.
That's nice. That's interesting. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I do write in between both. Could
Hmm.
you, without revealing much about your story, perhaps beat Son of the Bitch, with Son of a Bitch is coming on, or any of your earlier stories? Could you tell one or two scenes, like what's happening or what we can expect? Describe a
Um.
scene from one.
Okay. Okay. This is a good question, and this is one I hadn't thought about. So it might take me a second to kind of like think about this one. You got good questions, by the way. You're challenging me. I like that. Um, I don't want to give away too much, so I'm trying to think of a good
Right,
scene.
right.
Okay, here's one that I really liked the idea of this story. It was called Outskirts of Meeker, and the plot basically is there are these two guys that one works in one part of the state and the other gentleman works in another part of the state. And so the one guy transfers to where the other gentleman's working, and the other gentleman transfers to where the other guy's working. Well, when the one guy transfers to where the other guy's working, he ends up renting his house and actually takes it a little bit further. He kind of like assumes this guy's life almost. Starts kind of acting like him. He starts his look starts changing, and he starts kind of like becoming this guy. Well, the guy has no clue this is happening. He's not getting his rent money, and he can't understand why he can't get a hold of this guy. So he drives up to where this guy lives at, and in a pretty climactic scene, he knocks on the door of his rental house. The guy who owns the property and the guy who's starts assuming his identity answers it, and he realizes this guy looks way different than he remembers him. He looks a lot like he does now, and he says,
Okay, that's
yeah, he says, well, you're late on the rent money. You don't answer your phone. What's going on up here? And he goes, excuse me. And he goes, I need the rent money. He goes, and he says, and then he says the guy's name. He says, I'm Alan Rich. Who do you think you are? And so that's the name of the guy who came up there. So he doesn't know what's going on. And I'm going to end it at that right there. But there's a pretty bad things happen after that. I'll leave it at that.
all right. We are getting it. I'm getting the feel of it. Okay. See
Mhm.
now, tell me names of two of your characters. Just tell me two names of two of your characters. Just give me two names.
There's Jeff Kramer, and that's
Jeff Kramer.
the other guy is Alan Rich. Alan Rich is the owner of the property, and Jeff Kramer is the individual who starts to assume Alan Rich's identity through the story more and more.
Okay. Right. So right now I'm going to become Alan Rich. Okay. So I'm the owner of the property, and you are Jeff
Okay.
Kramer. All right.
Okay.
So what is the situation again? I am taking over your identity, right? That's it, right? Alan is taking over Jeff's identity, right?
No, it's Jeff's taking over Alan's identity. Actually,
Okay.
yes, reverse.
Pardon.
Yeah.
Reverse. Pardon. Okay. So I'm just making up a scene over here, making up a situation over here. I'm coming to my home and I suddenly find you over there. Okay. So I'm just going to enact the situation. Let's just see how it comes out. Is that fine? I'm just going to enact the
Okay.
situation. Okay. Okay. But hey, who are? How come you're in my home? Dude, we look so similar. Who are you? What do you reply?
Uh, I'm Alan Rich. I'm the owner of this property. Who the hell do you think you are?
Hey, buddy, that's my name. This is my home. What are you talking about? Please go on.
Well, then, not trying to give away too much, but after that, there is violence that occurs. Very bad,
Right, right,
and I'll leave it at that. It's pretty bad after that.
right. Okay, okay. No, this was to get the story alive. I hope you
Yeah,
like my method. This is to keep the
that's
story
cool.
alive.
Yeah, no one's ever done that as an interviewer, so I appreciate that. Actually, that's kind of cool.
And I hope my expressions were good enough. I just
That it scared me.
what
You
is
scared
it?
me. That was pretty good.
No, I just out of the blue, just hit out of the blue. See, so this was like kind of a situation. This is your upcoming story or the previous one?
I'm
This
sorry.
kind
What
of
was that
scene
again?
was the scene was the
Uh,
story which you have written before or in your upcoming one.
this is an older. This one is an old. This is one of my first ones I actually did. Uh, and it's called Outskirts of Meeker. The one I have coming out, the most recent one is called Son of a Bitch.
Okay, right. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, these stories would definitely, how to say, people would be very much interested during Halloween, I guess, during the time of Halloween
Yeah.
and all
Well,
that.
and that's the thing, it just I have trouble connecting with a lot of movies and stuff that are made nowadays because it seems like uh these writers and these producers and directors are relying so much more on just AI and special
Yeah,
effects, and
rapid
they're just
special effects,
straying
right,
away from a good story. And I just miss
right,
the old, like Tales from the Crypt and the Twilight Zone, where you
right.
where you didn't you had limited resources, and you had to rely on a good story to capture the readers, and that's what I'm trying to bring back is just
Perfect,
entertaining
perfect.
stories.
No, this I think we would gel well, very well on this. Because I told you I wrote a book on horror. The name
Hmm.
itself is Silence. There is almost no gore, no blood, no violence. I think the horror, the frightening part of it is the silence.
I like
It's
that.
like
Yeah.
you like that. No, just imagine you block out all the sounds across you. It's completely
Hmm.
dark. You can only hear. You can only
Oh,
hear them.
wow.
How would that?
That would be
This
very
is what.
foreboding. That would be
Pardon me, I'm
scary.
not able to
Yeah.
hear you. Excuse me. Just hold on. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
The
I can hear
audio
you
is
fine.
broken, I guess. Okay, right. Perfect, perfect. The audio was broken in my part for a while. Okay, it's fine now.
Okay.
Hello. All right. Good.
I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of
So
broke up a
this
little
is
bit.
what
Sorry about that.
I could I could connect with you very well.
I
Right. Fine, fine.
I can hear you
Now
just
we're
fine.
do we are fine now.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Do you have, by any chance, do you have a copy of your book? Do you have a copy
Yes.
of your book by any chance?
Yeah. Yeah. It's right here. Let me get it for you.
Show it. Right. Wow. That's
There you go.
windowless room. Perfect. Windowless room. Extension into heart. Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And so Brian, on which platforms are your books available? Is it on Amazon or on any other one?
It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and it's also in
Perfect.
store at the Barnes and Noble, in
Perfect.
Colorado, right here where I live at.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was actually, we did have a very interesting conversation today, and for the first time actually we had a livening conversations. Like I tried to bring some more effects. You were speaking about AI and other effects. Without any of those, see how we got interest in the story. I believe
Hmm.
this is what you want. This is what you want in this the books. This is what you were
Absolutely.
talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's okay. So do you have anything else to add at the end, Brian,
Well, yeah.
about your books
When
or
I
whatever?
Yeah, when I had
Yes.
never really intended to publish a book. The book just kind of came about as for me, like more of like a vessel for what I want to do. Because my ultimate goal since I started, has been to get a movie made. I want to adapt one of these into a screenplay or multiple stories into a screenplay and film. And so, yeah, that's how the book came about. And so far it's done what I've wanted it to do. It's got me some exposure. It's got me on TV, in the newspaper, and I'm kind of like, um I think I'm working towards that.
Perfect. I would love to
And it's
see
been a great
your.
adventure. It's been wonderful publishing, and it's been
Okay.
wonderful being an author. That's opened
Right.
up a whole new world to me too. So it's been a great experience for me.
True. And all of us, including myself, I would love to see your stories on the screen. Perhaps I would catch a ticket for that. Really,
Oh, that
because
would be wonderful.
I grew up loving horror. So it's just like in front of my friends, I say, okay, come on, let's watch this movie. I watch it,
Hmm.
go back, hide in my bedroom. This is my childhood.
I can remember that. Yeah, same thing. I can remember I wanted to watch. It was Stephen King. The one that used to scare me the most when I was little was either It or it was Pet
It,
Cemetery. And I'd want to watch those so bad, but after I finished watching them, I'd like go under the sheets. Be afraid to leave my room. But there was something
true,
that was
true.
drawing me in to watch those, though.
Cool, cool. All right, Brian. It was so wonderful. It was wonderful having a conversation with you today. I hope all your books become successful, and I hope to see you soon. We all hope to see you soon on the big screen. All right.
Same to
Thank you,
you,
Brian.
sir. Thank you so much. That was a great
Thank
interview.
you. Right. All right. Have a great day. Thank you and ta-ta. All right. Bye.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. I think we had a different kind of conversation today with the Brian. We had a different conversation, kind of live conversation. How do you say it? Putting a lot of life into it. I try to add without AI, without graphics, without special effects. I try to add my own style of sounds. So that's it for today. Please do subscribe to my channel. Please do share with others. I want to see more and more and more subscribers to my channel. See, this channel of mine is not really to speak about my books or how do you say that, to speak about the only point is I try to add different kinds of products. Hope all of you support me, encourage me, do subscribe, do share, do spread the word. So that's again Yasir Sulman for you saying